We begin tonight in Brunswick, Georgia, as the city prepares for the upcoming trial of the 3 men accused of killing 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery. Law enforcement, community leaders, and public officials came together tonight for a town hall meeting to address safety concerns ahead of the trial. BNC's Jenyne Donaldson is in Brunswick with the details. Jenyne, what can you tell us?
Good evening. Well, the focus of the town hall was safety and security for residents and visitors during the trial. Now, this was an opportunity for the community to ask questions about street closures, police presence, and other concerns. However, one businessman tells me that he didn't get the answers he expected. Now, safety and security is #1 in the minds of those who live here. A member of the Board of Commissioners says it's been a top priority for city leadership as well. For the past 6 months, the town says they've been working with Homeland Security and the Georgia Department of Emergency Management on a plan. However, he says there will not be a federal presence. A spokesperson for the Glenn County Unified Command says there will be a small police footprint and officers will be more reactive if and when issues arise. With local agencies and local partners responding, they say there's no reason to believe anything will happen as there have been no threats made, and there are plans and resources in place to protect residents and visitors. A businessman working downtown told the panel he's already gotten emails regarding safety plans, and he left the meeting still wondering what to tell them. And he told me that they've had a history as of late, as the county has been in the national spotlight, saying problems we've had with our town, someone getting shot, a couple of other things we've had happen, and they want us to just trust them after all this has already happened. Hey, trust us, we've got it covered is basically what I heard. However, I didn't hear a plan. And so that is some of the concerns that we heard here tonight. Yes, questions, but not a lot of answers. The mayor says everyone is hoping that justice will prevail for Ahmaud Arbery and that there will be justice, equity, and inclusion for all residents. The spokesman for law enforcement maintains the trial will be a public safety event, not a law enforcement event. So yes, a lot of questions here tonight, but not a lot of answers, only that police say they've got it covered. Back to you.
Thank you so very much, Jenyne. Here to discuss what we can expect as the trial begins is former prosecutor and now Deputy Executive Counsel for Louisiana Governor John Edwards, Leslie Ricard Chambers. Leslie, so good to see you.
Nice to see you as well, Yodit.
All right, let's start with this town hall meeting that took place tonight. The city of Brunswick is obviously bracing for the national spotlight, which could mean large crowds in this high-profile case. Your thoughts on the meeting and how the community is preparing for what could be weeks of demonstrations and possible riots?
I think that this is probably the most prudent thing that the local officials could probably do to get organized from a law enforcement perspective and from a security perspective, as you've seen across the country over the course of the past year with all of the incidences involving police, involved killings and shootings involving minorities. There have been protests, and there have been riots, and there have been other incidences that has caused some level of concern for those who are probably not advocates of the types of protests that we've seen. And so I think that it's prudent of these officials to get together to create a plan on how to mitigate any issues that may arise from the trial, outside of the building of the trial.
All right, looking ahead, Leslie, jury selection begins on Monday. 1,000 people were summoned as possible jurors, and 600 are expected to appear, with 400 more on standby. Were the large mailouts done out of an abundance of caution by the court to ensure that they get a fair and impartial jury impaneled?
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about a case that has gotten so much publicity across the country and even across the world, some may say. And so the idea of ensuring that a fair and impartial jury is secured in this case calls for the key court personnel and court officials, all the key partners to be cautious in how they select this jury. And of course, people are all automatically coming in with their biases, and there may be some who don't want to participate in the trial because of the attention that they are afraid of getting. And then there are some who may be eager to participate in the trial for one reason or another. And so making sure that they reach out and summon as many people as possible is the best way to secure that they get those 12 jury members and then those alternates, so that this case has the justice that it so deserves. And that I can't reiterate enough how important it is to have a fair and impartial jury, because of course that no one wants to take a case like this up on appeal and have run the risk of anything being overturned for any issue. And so getting it right in jury selection is key in getting off on the right foot in this trial.
Leslie, we're not just talking about one defendant here. We're talking about three, right? So you have the individual lawyers for all three for each defendant. Then you have the prosecution. So how long do you think jury selection could last? This could. There's no telling. With all three of them, no one wants it to sever their cases. Having all three of these individuals tried at the same time, it could prove to be a long process. I mean, we're talking about anywhere between, I think, 2 weeks to a month to possibly pick a jury to ensure that all three of these defendants get a fair and impartial trial. So the defense team filed a motion asking to be allowed to introduce Arbery's past criminal record into evidence, which the judge rejected. Today, civil rights attorney Ben Crump released a statement responding to that motion. It reads, "The defense's attempt to assassinate the character of Ahmaud Arbery just days before the McMichaels and the Bryans trial is set to begin is a cheap and blatant attempt to distract from the concrete facts of this case and the horrific actions of these defendants. It is irrelevant that Ahmaud was on probation when he was murdered because the defendants had no knowledge of that, nor would it be material if they did." So this is just par for the course, right, Leslie, in these types of cases where the defense tries to raise doubt by putting the victim on trial. We saw it happen in the Derek Chauvin trial when the defense tried to portray George Floyd as a criminal with superhuman strength. Was the judge's ruling on this issue correct?
Absolutely, and we know by the rules of evidence from law school that a victim's character cannot be introduced in a trial. It can't be used against him. His criminal history and all of these other factors that the defense filed motions for to introduce to sort of mitigate the defendant's circumstances or their culpability. The judge saw right through it, and it is pretty routine. And I think that Attorney Crump did the just thing in informing the public on his reasoning and what he thought was the correct ruling by the court. And really, I think that when everyday citizens who are not involved in the criminal justice system see defendants, their lawyers file these types of motions, not really having any legal understanding that, number one, that this is something that happens quite frequently, and this is part of the defense's strategy of throwing spaghetti on the wall, because they do know that they have an uphill battle. However, I think that it's in their purview as defense attorneys to represent their clients zealously. And unfortunately, that means throwing the character of the victim under the bus quite oftentimes.
All right, Leslie, last question. A lot of eyes will be on Brunswick in the coming weeks. What do you think the significance of this trial will be, especially on the heels of the Derek Chauvin trial?
Well, the Derek Chauvin trial sort of created this sense of precedence, I think, in terms of how we handle police-involved shootings, particularly when the victim is, or not just shootings, but police-involved killings of citizens. And so we know that with the George Zimmerman case, we were, I say we, were unsuccessful in securing a conviction in that case, and things started to change after that. People's perspectives of how police interactions with citizens and people who are not police but who take the laws into their own hands as if they are police. We see a standard sort of being set now, and people are not as forgiving in these sort of circumstances, and so there is an expectation of culpability that we see now, and folks are holding law enforcement to a certain standard, and so I think that with the George Floyd case, securing a conviction in that case really set the tone for this trial that's coming up next week.
All right, Leslie Ricard Chambers, former prosecutor and Deputy Executive Counsel for Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards, not to mention my SULC alumni. Thank you so very much for being here
That's
tonight.
right. Go Jags.
Monday, BNC will have special trial coverage including nightly reports and analysis of the day's events. Tune in for our Justice for Ahmaud Arbery coverage each weeknight.